Welcome back to Connected. It's Destiny and Jaedyn, and we're so happy to have you here today. Guys, we are so excited just to be here and filming again.
I think this, every other week was the best thing for us.
Yeah.
It really has revived. We're like, oh my gosh, we missed you guys.
Today. And we're back in our original podcast.
The original setup.
The pillows in it, everything. But today, this week's topic is letting go
of control and trusting God's timing.
So we have a few questions, and this
right
is just such a great topic. I think it's something that everyone always needs help with.
Always.
No matter what season you're in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so first question. Have you ever had a moment when things didn't go your way, but later you realized God's timing was better?
What a fitting question. Because, as you know, I haven't really told them at all yet.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, yeah. Remember to.
Well.
Sorry, she just spoke not in her mic. Okay. But I was supposed to leave for Spain and go for a full year. And I was supposed to leave beginning of September, like in 2 weeks. But God had other plans, which I'm so thankful for now. But originally the visa, remember I told you guys the whole visa process? Well, I had all the documents but one, and I had to mail it because you had to mail it to Washington, D.C. And I needed it by August 1st. And guys, it just came in today, which I was very annoyed with because it took over a month to even get here. But when I first went, we tried to go get my visa on, was that beginning of July?
I think so.
July 1st. I
Yeah.
think it was July 1st.
It was.
And after I found out, I was so sad and I cried a little bit and I was upset and I just took that whole day and but now looking back, I'm so thankful that I'm not leaving for Spain because there's so much here for me right now and in this season. And I've learned a lot by waiting on him and trusting in his plan. So now I'm not leaving till January, but that's not even for sure. But say it doesn't come about and I can't go to Spain in January, I'm still trusting in his plan. And I know that his plan is always better. So, can you repeat the question?
Yes. Have you ever had a moment when things didn't go your way, but later you realized God's timing was better?
There's just so many things that now I'm able to do and be here for. So Spain was definitely something that didn't go my way. And at first beginning of July, I was definitely sad and really upset. But then it honestly didn't even take me a couple of days. I was just no, I meant it took me a couple of days. It didn't take me a month or a week to realize. But I quickly realized that he has me and that everything happens for a reason. And that his plan is better than mine. And I may not understand why I'm not going, but there's reason for it. And just as time has continued to go on, I'm just so grateful even more that I'm here.
I'm grateful that you're here too and excited for what's to come and to see if you're going to go. Well, I hope you do. But
it's most likely.
Just because you had to reapply. So,
yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm trying to think of a past time. I don't know. The thing that's coming to mind right now, but it's not I don't know exactly how it's going to that God's timing is going to be better, but is I just changed my major to dental hygiene and I need a million science classes, but I have to take them at different semesters at a time. So my counselor just told me I have to take them. It'll take me at least 4 semesters to finish. So it's 2 more years of school that technically if I was on the right track right now, it'd be I already be done in 2 years. So it's 2 more years of law school. Then I have 2 more years of dental school, which when I found that out, I was what? Kind of bummed. Oh, I don't want to still be in school by then. And I remember just being kind of annoyed. And then remember this was Thursday, 2 days ago. I was annoyed at the time because I'm are you serious? I'm going to be in school for that long? And then I just sat there and I was it's okay because God has a plan and timing for everything. So just because it's not my timing, I know that it'll work out for his good, and for my good.
Yeah.
So I just had to like tell myself that like it's going to be fine. Like
Yeah.
it's all about his timing and his plan, not mine.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Ooh, I hope you don't take my person. What stories from the Bible show people waiting on God's timing? Who's a character?
I would say Joseph. Oh no, is that your person?
Yeah, it's okay. We both.
Because I mean, if you think about it, he had a long time coming, right? He had his dreams that prophesied that he was gonna be like the king or the king one day, and then he got sold into slavery. So he's probably like, well, what the heck's going on here? Like, you said I was gonna be king, like what's going on? And then everything's going good when he's like working in the palace. Then he gets thrown into jail for years, right? And he's like, what the heck? And he's just waiting on God's timing, as he's in jail. Then 2 people come in jail and he tells them what their dream means, right? One person dies, one person lives. And he's like, remember me down here? Dude forgets. And years pass, right? So he's just constant. He just keeps waiting on the Lord. He's just waiting and waiting and waiting till God can show him what he's like to fulfill his dreams that he's had, right? So he's just waiting on the Lord, probably thinking, what the heck? I thought you said I was going to be king. And it's just years passing. And then finally it comes to it, right? And he is the king. And everything does work out for good. And he's so helpful to everyone in that situation. So that's one story that tells me about like waiting on God's timing and how his timing is perfect. Because he had so many opportunities in that time to become king or like advance in that level. And once he did advance, he just kept getting cut down. So God's like, not yet,
Yeah. And something that we can learn from that story, because I was going to say Joseph too, is one, when he gets sold into slavery, he's probably thinking like God doesn't see him. But every little setback that happened in Joseph's life was perfectly planned.
It was part of the plan.
Yeah, it was part of the plan. It wasn't like, was it a detour?
Dude, what the heck am I gonna do? It's not like, oh man, his brothers just sold him into slavery.
That was a part of my plan. That would be crazy. Can you imagine? That'd
be a hectic life.
Yeah. God's like, oh shoot, this wasn't. Oh my gosh, I just got cold. Sorry. Okay, but also thinking of when you said him in jail and being in prison, he still had faith, even when he was literally in prison. Like, how much
it's so cool.
How many of us can say that when we're going through a hard time, that we still are holding faith? And then just that, like, his whole story was just preparation for him so that he could be prepared as a king.
Right. And when we're being prepared, it's so hard to see it as preparation. So when I feel like I'm like so excited. Like I'm like not breathing as I'm talking. So if you hear me like gasping for breath, it's because I'm not breathing in between my words. I'm just getting as much as I can out before I need to take a next breath.
It's okay. I won't cut you off. You can talk as long as you need.
What was I saying? It's hard to see that it's sorry, we filmed a TikTok about this earlier today. Anyway, it's hard to see that it's preparation when you're in the stages of being prepared, because everything that's going on or happening to you. But it's important that we take a step back and we're able to see like, okay, this is just part of my process. This is still part of God's plan, and to still have faith in that.
And I think during the preparation season, you could just ask yourself or ask the Lord, like, what are you trying to teach me? Where are you growing me? What are you growing me in?
Yeah. That's good. Okay, next question.
Yep. Next question.
Okay, let's see.
Sometimes we laugh the same, so it's so weird.
We're just too connected.
Guys, we had the most connected moment of our life the other day at our friend's house. What did she say? She said something and we were like...
We asked her if she liked her sorority at the same time. And then she was like, whoa. And then we both went, like we did the same laugh at the same time. She was like, whoa, that was weird. And we were like...
Yeah, because that was true. We were like, do you like it? And she was like, whoa. And we were like...
That was a crazy connected moment, but okay.
You had to be there.
How do you know when you're actually surrendering to God versus just giving up?
I think that when you're truly surrendering, you have faith in him. And when you're just giving it up, you don't have faith. Like you've just lost it. And I think when can you repeat the question again?
How do you know when you're actually surrendering to God versus just giving up?
I think even in times where you've tried to hold control for too long and then you surrender, it can feel like you're giving up, but holding faith that he will come through and that it's in his hands now. And giving up would just be like, whatever, like nothing's going to happen. Like not holding faith. I think that's the biggest thing. Like still having faith and believing and praying that it would happen on God's timing and that he would help you through it. And giving up would just be like, whatever, not trying, not praying about it, not having faith about it, just literally giving up. What would you say?
I would say it means that you're continuing to obey God. So, right, God calls us not to be lazy or like not to just sit around.
Yeah.
And if we're still surrendering to God and we're unsure of our plan or we're unsure how he's working things for good in our life at the moment, but we're still trying to trust him, we're still going to obey God. So we're going to be, like you said, praying. We're going to be doing our works that we're supposed to be doing in our daily life to make the best of everything. We're going to be actively involved in everything that we're supposed to be doing. And if you're just giving up, you're going to be doing nothing. You're just going to be hanging up your hat and saying, well, something didn't go my way, so oh well. And you're not going to be actively doing anything to work towards anything.
Yeah. I like that. That was good. Okay. Ready for next question? Why do you think God sometimes delays things we really want?
I think probably to teach us something, teach us a lesson. So maybe if he's delaying something, not in every case, but maybe he's teaching you like patience. Like you need to wait on me. You need to wait on me. Like trust me. Like put your faith in me. I think a lot of the times when he's teaching us a lesson, it's because we need to actually trust him and like put our faith in him, because it's so hard when you're in a situation to do that a lot of the times. It's hard to surrender everything and to be like, okay, God, you got this, which is what we have to do every time. And even if you do that day by day, here, God, you have this, you have this, you have this, eventually you're going to have nothing left to give him. Well, you always will. But in that certain situation, you're not going to have anything left to give him because you're surrendering it every day. And even if you're holding on to that tiny little piece, like God's still just going to wait for you, you know? Yeah. So I think it's probably just a lesson that he's teaching us, saying, you just need to give it all to me. Like, trust me with your life. Trust me with your plan. What'd you say?
I think one thing that comes to mind is that this phrase that I really like, and it's waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. So I really think that through that season of waiting to get what you want, he's showing you things, he's preparing you, and he's growing you and teaching you things that you may not see during that season, but once you come out of it, you will. Also, this just like popped in my head. Sometimes I think it's like, do you want it more than you want me? Yeah. Like, am I enough for you without this? Like, will you be satisfied if all you have is me? You know?
Right. Like, if I take this away, is your faith still going to be in me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I give it to you.
Because if everything's going smooth as...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know?
That's good.
Like, how big is your want for God?
Yeah. How big is your God?
Go
watch that podcast.
It's my turn, right?
Yes.
No, it's not. Right?
I was thinking, yeah, you're right. It's my turn.
I'm like, oh, what?
How do you deal with comparison when it feels like everyone else is moving ahead faster than you?
I think knowing that everyone's story and plan is different. Mm-hmm. That there's no set, this is so beautiful about life, there's no set timeline that God has. He doesn't say you have to graduate by this age and get married at this age and have kids at this age and do this at this age and retire at this age. Everyone's plan is different. And what is the question exactly? I was on a roll for a sec.
How do you deal with comparison when it feels like everyone else is moving ahead faster than you? So how do you deal with comparison during those stages?
Just knowing that what I just said is that not everyone is on the same timeline. And sometimes I think I heard this one time at women's group and I was like, dang, we are prisoners to our own timeline. And that is so true. And this is what we needed to surrender, our timeline. Surrender your timeline to I'm so excited that like it's so hard to speak. Surrender your timeline. Take a deep breath, girl, to the Lord and just see how miraculously, how do you say it?
You're saying the right thing.
Miraculously
Or
changes your life. I think once you truly surrender everything to Him, that's when God finally can work.
Yeah.
How would you say you deal with comparison?
I would say remembering, like, I am me. I'm not Destiny. I'm not any of my other friends or family. I'm myself, and exactly what she says. I have my own timeline. I'm not supposed to measure up to where Destiny's timeline is. I'm not supposed to measure up to where Aaliyah's timeline is. I'm myself. Also, I think it's important if you surround, like, all of my friends are older than me, really. So when I'm like, whoa, like, look where they're at, I'm like, I'm a few years younger than, like, it's okay to be behind. It's okay to take steps back and not be where they're at because I'm not where they're at, you know? And I need to be prepared to be where they're at. So I think it's important to remember that you are not anybody else. You are yourself, and you are created to be who you are made to be. And if you're comparing yourself in your timeline to other people's timelines, you're not going to be allowed to be yourself. You're not going to be allowed to be who you are. You're you're chaining yourself up from being free and walking in who you're made to be.
I really, 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 really like that. That was good.
Thanks. Okay, now it's your turn.
Okay. Do you believe delays can be a form of God's protection? Why?
I believe 100% that they can be. Because
why?
If you were to go, let's say,
little kids.
Why? Because
you get to a point where you run out of reasons of why.
I'll tell them a reason. They're like, well, why that? I'm like, then it's like, because God made it like that. Well, why did God make it like that? You'll have to ask God. That's how it gets. Okay, yeah, back on track. For example, let's say Destiny is headed off to Spain, right? She's going to Spain, and then some huge disaster happens. Then God spared her from that. But let's put it on like a lower scale, right? But I think it could be so grand and so little at the same time, right? If you're driving on the freeway and you hit traffic, let's say there could be that God is saving you from an accident that could have happened, or God's saving you from like having a flat tire and being late to work, you know, like whatever. But I think He's just saving you from anything that hold on. I'm trying to gather my words here. Go ahead.
I think He's saving you from things that you're not ready for.
Yes.
That He knows, like, you still, if He gave it to you now, you wouldn't be able to
saving you from yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're the best.
Thanks.
Okay, yes. I think He's saving you from yourself, and He's allowing you to grow in who you are. So what was the question exactly?
Do you believe that
it's God's protection?
Yeah.
Yeah, because God knows all things, and He sees all things, and He's the past, present, and future. So He knows how to protect you from the things you need protection from your heart, from your mind, and your soul.
I like how you said, like, He could be saving you from like a car accident on the freeway or something. Because that's something that I definitely think about a lot of the times. Not necessarily when it's bad. Like, I know there's like the burnt toast theory. And it's like you drop your keys and everyone's like, oh, dang it. Or like you go outside to your car and you forget your keys in the house, and then you have to go back in the house, and then you have to do this, and then you lose time. I think about it more like, I guess when I come across certain people, I'm like, dang. Mm-hmm. Or when I run into certain people, I'm like, if I left my house 5 minutes later, I wouldn't have ever saw this person, or wouldn't have done this, wouldn't have done this. So it's the same thing, but I'm saying I more think when I'm like, oh, I forgot my keys, I'm not thinking about that. Like, oh, He could be saving me from something, which that would be good. But I think about it a lot of times when I run into people or just certain things. I'm like,
God-
there's no way that just happened
God
to
purposely
happen.
placed me.
That we just happened to cross paths or that this blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I definitely do think it is protection because, like I was saying, sometimes we're not ready. So, like you said, he's protecting us from ourselves because he knows that if he were to give it to us now, we probably wouldn't do like, I don't know,
as well as we
as
should.
well. Yeah. Or what he really called us to do with it because we're not ready. So I think it is protection.
But also, I want to say, if like God can out delays, but sometimes if there's a choice of delay and you have that choice, do I go or do I stay? And you do go, but let's say in your head you're like, God's plan was for me to stay. God will still work through, like he knows what you're gonna do anyway. So he will still work through your quote unquote bad decisions, you know, like he turns all things for good, especially when you have such faith in him. And if you like surrender that to him, and if you're like, oh shoot, this was not the right decision, God will still work through your decisions, you know, still work through every choice that you make.
Yeah. And also how you said delay, God doesn't ever delay. He's always right on time.
Yeah. It's delayed to you.
us.
He's like, this is not a delay. This was part of my plan.
He's like, girl, you thought you were going to get it now? It's in your plan not to get it till later.
Right? He's like, you need to calm down.
You need to hold your horses. This is the last question.
Mm-hmm. If someone listening is stuck in a waiting season, what's one thing they can do today?
I think continue to pray and ask God to help you through this waiting season and to show you what he's trying to grow and what he's trying to teach you through the season. And also, my mind just went blank. I had another point. Know that you're not alone and that it will come at the right timing and that he still loves you and he cares for you and that it will happen when it's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the other thing I was going to say. So go on and maybe you'll.
I would say, I forgot the other thing. I forgot what I was going to say now. I was distracted. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot.
Maybe, wait, can you read the question again? Just so maybe it will pop back up.
If someone listening is stuck in a waiting season, what's one thing they can do today? Can't remember now what I was going to say. I would say, well, first of all, pray like Destiny said. Just pray for wisdom and understanding on what you're supposed to be doing in this waiting season, what you're supposed to be learning, like you said. Mm-hmm. But also remind yourself that you're waiting here for a reason. Like if you're just in a season of like stillness and waiting, that's such a beautiful time because that's when you hear God's voice the most, I feel like, is when you're being quiet. Like you quiet yourself and you quiet the world. And when you're going and you're on track for something and you're just so fast paced, I feel like it's hard for us to just step back and like kind of put a pause on anything and really just sit with the Lord. And in a waiting season, that's all you really can do is just sit with the Lord. Yeah. And so just remind yourself that God has a plan and a purpose for you in that waiting season. And that this is such a beautiful time to grow your relationship with God and be able to hear his voice very clearly.
Yeah. And something I remembered what I was going to say is just constantly praying and reminding yourself, like how Jesus did in the garden before he was going to go on the cross. Like, Lord, your will be done, not mine. Like constantly just pray that over yourself. Like you want his will, not yours. And yeah, I think that's just something to help remind you. And I had another point, but of course I got distracted and I don't remember anymore. But just trust in him and know that there is purpose in the waiting and that it's not punishment, it's preparation. And I like how you said that's when this is what I was going to say. How you said that's when you grow your relationship the most. And this will tie into the song of the week. It's like a plant. We have the seed. And when we're in the valley, no, that's the top. That's the good, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a seed and you're getting watered. And just think of the waiting season as you being watered by the Lord. And then eventually, pop, bloom, flower, beautiful.
And there's always going to be waiting seasons in your life. Not everything's going to come to you like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it has been for a while, like, there will be a waiting season. And just remind yourself and remember that that is where you are growing and that's where you are getting spiritually stronger.
And sometimes you won't even recognize that you were in a waiting season.
Until you're out of it.
Or until you got it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
But the reason the flower thing tied into our song of the week is Flowers by Samantha Ebert. I don't know how to say her last name. It's a great song. And it just talks about waiting on him and being watered and how the flowers will grow.
Yep.
So I highly suggest you listen to that song.
It's a very beautiful song and moving.
Yep.
Especially the lyrics. It's just like, wow.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Our next episode, we have something crazy, a crazy idea. We're not 100% if we're going to do it, but if we do, it's going to
be so cool.
off.
You're just like, whoa, that was cool.
You're going to be like, this is so fun. It's going to be our fun episode. So hopefully it all works out. We have ideas and we'll see. But we'll see you in 2 weeks, September 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Remember to stay connected to each other, stay connected to us,
and most importantly, stay connected to the vine.
Bye.
Be the light.